When I first started teaching,
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming this morning for our 5th grade curriculum meet and greet. I'm Melissa Kurtz. I'm the instructional coach here at Winder Elementary, and this is our fabulous 5th grade team. So they're going to be sharing with you today about the curriculum, what the students will be studying over the course of the 5th grade year, some information about assessments and grading, and then different ways that you can support at home. And they may be joined, I think we're still waiting on one 5th grade teacher, but we're going to go ahead and get started, and there may be some collaborators that join in too, so you'll get to meet them as well. So, but we really appreciate you coming today. You can already check the box for being involved and being supportive, so go you. So, thank you, 5th grade team.
all right, so this is just a brief overview of what we will go over today. Introductions, curriculum, grading, behavior, how to access the campus portal if you haven't already gotten access to that, helpful resources for you as a parent, our weekly newsletter, and then at the end, any questions that you have afterwards. Okay. So there are 4 5th grade homeroom teachers. I'm Mrs. LeVay. My email though still says Chang, my maiden name. And then we have
Mrs. Stokes.
I'm Mr. Orpesa.
and then Dr. Wiggins will be joining us shortly. So you've probably already been connected with us on Remind. So if you need to reach your homeroom teacher, Remind would be the best. But until all of our rosters are sorted right on Infinite Campus, email would probably be the best method to reach us. Besides us 4 teachers, we also have a whole team of support teachers. We have Mr. Vickers, Ms. Barr, Ms. Matthews, Ms. Greer, Ms. Varday, and Ms. Camp. So your student may have a homeroom teacher, or they may have any one of these other teachers as well. And again, until our rosters get sorted on campus, email would be the best method for communication. We are going to start off with our BCE belief statements. So last year, according to the data and everything that we received from previous years, we are really focusing on literacy this year, so reading and writing. We are aiming to prioritize our students and prioritize our instruction that is based on results and data. So we are analyzing data constantly, we are seeing if they are understanding what we are teaching, and then we're modifying what we're doing to hopefully get the students where they need to be, especially for 5th grade, because middle school is right around the corner. Last year, we had 58.35% reaching their achievement level, so this is compared to all of the other 5th grade students who are taking the test. It's nationally ranked. And so we had 58.35% of our students reaching the average achievement. Our goal this year is to increase it by 5%. This is for all of our elementary grades. So our personal goals in 5th grade are also to increase our number by 5%. So we're really putting a focus on small groups and making sure that our instruction in small groups is focused on what the students need based on their map, based on their tests that they have taken, based on their performance in class. So our goal is to increase by 5%. Okay, and then for math, wait, was that math? No, that's based on math. This is our Georgia milestones. So you as a 5th grade parent are probably familiar with the milestones. They've taken it in 3rd grade, they've taken it in 4th grade, they're gonna take it again in 5th grade. This year, they will have an additional milestones test in science. So last year, they only took tests on reading, writing, and math. This year, they'll have those 3 plus science. So our goal for our Georgian milestones is also to increase by 5%, hopefully getting more students ready and prepared for middle school than we did last year. Okay, Mr. O.
Yeah, so this is our class schedule, so they come in from 7 to 7:30, car ride or bus. And then we have a morning meeting for the first 15 minutes, and they're in their homeroom for that. Then this long block one and the short block one typically is together. The long block is either math or reading. If they're in math, then the short block ends up being social studies or science. And then if they're in reading, the short block is writing. So this is the same for here, it's just flipped. So it's long block, short block, and then short block, long block. So most, not everyone, some children have 3 teachers, but most children are only in 2 classrooms. And then we have specials, and that rotates, so computer, art, music, PE.
And 5th grade gets clubs.
On Fridays.
So you probably heard your student talking about, oh, I'm in agriculture club, or I get to play with the chickens, or things like that. So those rotate as well.
And then we have lunch and recess at the very end of the day. So at the beginning of their second block, they're allowed to have snacks. If they don't have a snack, you can send them to school with the snack. A lot of us in the morning, the food that the kids don't eat, we put on the back table, so then they're able to get like apple slices at least, or something for snack, if you don't bring one. But your kids are hungry, so because they're eating at 1. So please bring them a snack. And if you'd like to donate snacks to the homeroom, that would also be great.
And the only thing about snacks is we really prefer not for them to bring candy for snack. No sodas or juices that they can eat for snack. They're allowed to have a juice like a Gatorade or an energy drink that is like non-caffeinated at lunch, but not in the classroom, just because so many spills and then everything gets sticky. And then on top of, we really prefer not for them to bring spicy snacks.
I know that's
It
hard.
gets all over the paper.
Or something.
Yes, and then that's all we hear all day. Okay, Dr. Lucas.
Okay, our curriculum for math, we use H&H, and Ms. DeVay and Ms. Stokes and Mr. Vickers are math teachers. And then for reading, we also use H&H. And I am a reading teacher, Mr. O, and Ms. Matthews, who's not in here.
She's currently teaching 4th grade right now, but she would be here if she could.
And we also use Waggle, which is a part of H&H, and that's something that's on the computer that we use their map scores so that it's individualized practice on Waggle. So that's a good thing that they could use at home for both reading and math or Waggle if there's extra time or if you want them to work on improving where they are independently.
And that's why we really stress the importance of our map tests as well, because their individualized lessons and practice is based on that. So if your student is somebody who is just rushing and clicking through it, then their personalized instruction is not going to be exactly what they need, and they're probably going to get a little bit bored by it, and then they end up hating that. Okay, so last year we started implementing this performance-based grading, so this shouldn't be a new thing, but to go over it, every student is rated on this scale of exceeding, demonstrating, developing, emerging, not yet demonstrating, and then NA means not assessed yet. So you get 3 progress reports a year. The first progress report I think comes out in November. And on that progress report, you are going to see these letters instead of a number. These letters tell you where your student is performing on that particular standard. So for example, there will be one on multiplying whole numbers. If your student is performing at a DV, that means that they are developing the skills, but they haven't quite gotten to the point where they can do it by themselves. Demonstrating is where we are hoping that all students are at by the end of the year. So on that 3rd progress report, we're hoping that everybody's at DM. So right now, if your student in November is at a developing or an emerging, just know that we are continuing on using those skills And we are continuing to assess them on these skills, and hopefully on the next progress report, they'll have moved up to the next level.
And I like the standards-based grading because when you had the number grades, it was hard for you to understand exactly where your child needed help. But with standards-based grading, at least you can know, okay, they multiply fractions well, but they struggle with dividing fractions. So we need to hone in on that skill. So I particularly like the standards-based grading because it gives you more of an idea as to where they need help.
And for example, some of the standards might be grouped together, so multiplying and dividing whole numbers might be on the same grade. And they may have a developing under that because they have multiplying, but they're still working towards dividing. So if you receive that progress report and you have any questions about why they have what they have, please feel free to reach out. We try to make comments on the progress report to tell you, okay, that they do have this, we're just working towards blah, blah, blah. But if it's not clear, you don't understand it, please don't hesitate to reach out. This is what the progress report looks like. So any of the gray shaded boxes are the quarters and trimesters that have not been assessed yet. So your first progress report is gonna look like this, and every single box is gonna have something in it. Not every standard is taught in the first trimester, so you may see an NA because we haven't gotten to it yet. It doesn't mean that your student doesn't know it, it's just we haven't taught them this yet. Okay. ND might mean that your student has been introduced to it, but they're not yet doing it at all. Okay, so for our students who are a little bit lower with their math fact fluency, they might have not demonstrating yet for our multi-digit multiplication because they're just not quite there yet. But you will get 3 of these every single year. We do not print them, so it is only going to be digital. If you would like a printed progress report, reach out to your homeroom teacher and we can print it off for you.
And to get them online, you guys would go to the Parent Portal account. There's a link to Parent Portal on the Barrow County website, and they have videos showing instructions about how to get there. But you can do all kinds of things on Parent Portal. In addition to viewing the progress reports, you can change your address, you can update your emergency contacts. So there's just a lot of different ways that you can view your child's progress, but also update the student information as well.
Okay, so then these are the behavior sheets that they have.
Has anyone seen this yet? Anyone write
Students
home?
welcome home from the sun. Okay, well at the end of every week, they should be bringing them home.
Fridays, we tell them to put it in their backpacks.
So if they're not, ask them where it is. You can't see it really good right here, but you can, just so you know, it's down here. There's the key for. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so they have blue, orange, green, yellow, red. They pretty much start out with green. Blue is like absolutely perfect behavior in class and also the work that they did. And like they went and taught another student. Orange is probably just they did exceptional work in class or behaved really well. Green is pretty standard average. Yellow, we're typically giving after a couple warnings, and then red is after we've mentally given them the yellow and told them multiple times to stop whatever it is or to be on task. And at that point,
If they didn't complete any work, or we had to get Dr. Neer or Mr. Frazier to come up, those are typically the times where they'll get red. So reds are very difficult to get. Very difficult to get at.
And if they get a red, you will usually see a note if you scroll to the top. Usually, if it's something urgent, we'll put the comment right there on the back of the sheet.
And then all of our emails are listed too. If the comment doesn't make sense, just reach out to whoever their teacher is. But we do use the colors to go over their using the pause expectations, our bullpup pledge. They say it every single morning: positive attitude, act responsibly, work hard, and show respect. So those are the 4 standards that we're looking at to give them an assignment of color.
And then, so, I mean, here are the days, and then this is long block 1, short block 1, and then they switch, so short block 2, long block 2. We do separate the colors, so they might have been great in writing and math, or reading and math, and then we get to writing and social studies and behaviors all over the place, or they decide that they don't want to be school anymore. And so sometimes you will see, even though it isn't within the same block, they will get different colors. Or it might be the case that they were just kind of doing their work on average and then they went above and beyond, so then they would get an orange or blue at that point. And then at the end of the week, they should be bringing this home so that you can sign it here and then bring it back to school on Monday in their blue folders.
And we do reward them for getting green or above and for getting parent signatures. We have a behavior party every single month. So when they turn in, the first one will be given, they'll turn it back into us on September 2nd. So after the long weekend, they have the Friday and the Monday off. So after the long weekend on September 2nd, they give us the August behavior. We look at how much they have filled out. Because some students are perfect behavior, never an issue, but don't ever bring their blue folder to get a sign. And so what we're trying to instill in them in 5th grade is a sense of responsibility. Yes, your behavior is great. Yes, you are doing well in class, but we also have to practice responsibility. And so if they're not bringing their blue folder home or they're not bringing it to their class, they can't get it signed, even if they are doing everything they're supposed to be doing. So we do have a behavior party for all the students who have signatures, they have it filled out. A few yellows here and there is not something that we hold against them. If they have, you know, a yellow for every single short block one they're in, that might be a conversation that we have. But other than that, they get to pick a party, and that could be going outside for extra recess, dance party, karaoke, tech. A lot of them want to just sit and play on their computers, movie, coloring, drawing, and they get to pick which party they want to go to. So we're really trying to hype it up to instill some good behavior at least.
Okay, so we're going to have parent-teacher conferences twice this year. We'll have one in November and we'll have the other in March. I know in the past, we've had them kind of spread out over the month, but we're really trying to have them on 2 specific dates. So one date in November and one date in March. Usually it's a teacher workday, and teachers, they have different methods of getting you guys to sign up. So some use Calendly, Sign Up Genius, or some use a paper form. So just, you know, it varies depending on the teacher.
And we'll communicate on Remind how we're asking you to sign up for a conference. So keep an eye on Remind. We will say, here's the link, or a paper will be coming home in their red folder. And then one other thing about the conferences too is if your student has more than one teacher, which just about every student does, we're gonna do our best to coordinate our schedules to make sure that we can attend the conferences of the students that maybe we wanna brag about, students who we know we wanna talk to you about something that they're struggling with, but hopefully before then, we'll have already communicated with you our concerns and our praises.
And Dr. Kirk, she talked about this, but if you're not connected to Parent Portal, you can sign up on the Barrow County website. There should be a link there. The only thing you'll need is your child's name and I think their lunch number. They should know their lunch number, but if for any reason they don't know that, just contact your child's teacher and we can get that to you. And if you're having any issues with it, you can email iparent.help@barrow.k12.ga.us, and they're usually pretty responsive if you're having difficulty getting in. But I would highly suggest that you guys go ahead and get connected, because like they were saying, we don't print out the progress reports, they're digital, so please go ahead and get linked in.
We found that when we print them out, they often don't make it home, so it's digital.
Okay, and then some of our helpful resources, we already mentioned Waggle that you can use in both math and in language arts. The spelling words that are sent home each week, it's not just, the purpose is not just for them to memorize how to spell those 28 words. The purpose of that is the first 20 have some kind of phonics skill that hopefully they learned back in first grade, and it's just a repetition of those skills in longer, larger words with more syllables. If they're able to spell the word, then chances are they're able to read the word and then use the word in their writing. So the spelling links with reading and with writing. And the multiplication facts, even though I'm not a math teacher this year, this is my 28th year, and I remember when my kids were in school, they had to master the facts back in 3rd grade. So the purpose of mastering the multiplication facts is they just, math skills, of course, build on each other, and if they don't know their math facts, then it's more difficult to do the long multiplication and the long division. I know last year in 4th grade, I worked with some students that still were mastering their addition and subtraction facts. So if they haven't mastered their addition and subtraction facts, that's the most important, to master this first and then build up to the multiplication. But some kids just need more practice. And sometimes the flashcards work, sometimes it works for them to write it. You have to figure out what works best with your child, whether you have that discussion with them, you know, what helps you memorize these facts.
My dad used to quiz me in the car
Yeah.
anytime we were going. So I didn't have anything in front of me and I wasn't writing anything, but it had to just be mental.
And some kids, it works, yeah, just by saying it. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. You know, try different strategies with your child to see what strategy he or she likes the best and what's most effective. Or try lots of different strategies. But if your child's struggling, the spelling and multiplication facts are a good place to start.
And multiplication.com is another site that I use with my students to help them recall those facts. So you can use that website at home as well.
Okay, so our newsletter will typically go out every Thursday or Friday. In our newsletter, it's gonna have everything you will need to know for the following week or upcoming. So it's gonna have reminders. For example, it's gonna say, hey, please make sure you get your students' blue folder signed. Please make sure that you are sending them with a snack. It's gonna be raining next week, make sure that they have the appropriate clothes. It's gonna be really, really cold, make sure they have a jacket. Just those kinds of short reminders. It's also going to have upcoming dates. So anytime that we have map testing, school is not in session, or parent-teacher conferences, picture day, absolutely, September 3rd is picture day. So any of those kinds of dates will be on the upcoming dates. It will have information about 5th grade and what we're doing here. So in our newsletter last week, it says look out for the date and time for the 5th grade meet and greet today. And then it also tells you what your kids should or will be learning next week. So we try to tell you in advance, hey, next week we are starting the Constitution in social studies. So that hopefully when you're having conversations with your student, you can sort of incorporate that into your just, day-to-day conversations. And then 2 important sections. One is our student of the week. Every week we get together as a team and we nominate one student to be our student of the week. They can be student of the week for being a helpful student, for being respectful, for following directions,
Engaging in class.
participating, literally anything and everything could qualify them for being a student of the week. We are working on getting Dr. Neer to also announce this over the announcements, just so it encourages them as well to aim for student of the week. And the last little orange box is going to be how can you help? Mr. O already talked about snacks, so all classes are in need of snack donations. We have quite a few students who come to school and don't come with a snack. We do our best to save all of the breakfast stuff, the bananas, the apples, the juices, so that we have something to give them. But oftentimes we are running out. So if you are able and willing, your homeroom teachers would love to have some snack donations. And then I know we will be putting a few additional things in our newsletter today. Mr. Vickers, if your student has Mr. Vickers, is in need of hand sanitizer and tissues. Since he's not a homeroom teacher, his students didn't come with those. So we're giving him some right now, but I think we are gonna need a few more, for Mr. Vickers' classroom. And then Dr. Wiggins had one more thing she was also gonna add to the newsletter as well.
Light bulbs, I think lamp, light
Yep.
bulbs, like 60-watt lamp light bulbs, because I use lamps for lighting in my room.
Yeah, the fluorescent lights are
Right.
and then we're also gonna have on the second page is gonna be a copy of your students' spelling words. We do give them printed, but we all know they don't always make it home. So we do give a copy of the spelling words on the newsletter as well, so that you have a digital copy in the event that your student forgets their blue folder at school. And that's all we have. If there are any questions?
So homework is not a big.
So homework is based on the teacher. So I teach math, science, and social studies. I do give math homework, and I know Ms. Stokes
Yeah, I
also
guess we
gives
do
math
that.
homework.
Usually we give it on Mondays, and it's not required to be turned in until Friday. So they have the whole week. And for me, it's usually just a page, like front and back.
Same.
And I also give like an independent work packet, and sometimes they don't get it completed during class. So I also encourage them to take that home. That way it's done by Friday, so.
I also give mine out on Monday or the first day of the week and expect it to be done by Friday. We know there's a lot of things going on. Some kids go to aftercare, church, sports, different things after school. So by giving it on the first day of the week, we're hoping that it is a manageable size of work and that they're not spending hours and hours and hours doing it every single night.
For reading, I like for my students to read 20 minutes a night. I don't do a reading log because I found that the kids that like to read are going to read and they'll enjoy it. The kids that don't are gonna lie and just write something down. So I don't do a log, but I'd like for them to read 20 minutes a night. And the spelling words, I've talked to mine about how there are 28 spelling words. If they're struggling, take the 28 words divided by the 4 nights, Monday through Thursday, and then practice 7 words a night. Instead of waiting until Thursday night to do the 28 words. So really right now, just the reading, because they're all on different levels, and I'm working with mine on if they don't like to read, to try to find books that they like to read to help them become readers.
That's what Ms. Rodriguez is working with them as well. They go to library once a week, and Ms. Rodriguez is really focusing on her library lessons to be about stamina and choosing the right book so that you want to read. So they are going to the library, they are checking out books. So if they want to take their books home, they are more than welcome to take them home.
And next week, it might take more than a week, I've started looking at their map skills, like their student reports show their Lexile levels, because a lot of my students are reading way below where their independent reading level is. So I've asked Ms. Rodriguez to help the students put in, I've given them their Lexile levels to enter in their Lexile levels, and then a range of books will come up within their appropriate reading level so they can look for a book on their level, because a lot of kids are reading way below their level, which is fine every once in a while for enjoyment, but we want them to grow. So,
And as far as homework being done at home, we do allow them to work on homework in the morning. So from 7 to about 7:45, we're not giving them an assignment. They're allowed to go to the library in the morning, they're allowed to work on homework. Some come in really sleepy, so sometimes we allow them to take a few extra minutes to sleep so that they're prepared for their block 1. But that morning 7 to 7:45 is time where they can also work on their homework if they don't have enough time at home. And additionally, if they're in Dr. Wiggins' homeroom and she's not a math teacher and they have Ms. Stokes as math, they are more than welcome to go see their math teacher or their reading teacher to ask for help.
So if they say they completed their homework at school, it's possible that they did, because they have more than enough opportunities to get that done.
Okay, that was gonna be my question, because I have never seen any homework or anything like that. So.
They're probably doing it at
Okay.
school, yeah.
Who is your student?
Ava Toledo.
Okay.
Oh, she's definitely doing it
No, I
at
figured
school,
so.
I have her.
Okay.
well, that went well, just in case it went in the other direction.
Yeah.
In my class, they have their spelling words, and I tell them every day to study those if they don't know them. if they know them, then they study them. Because we give out the pre-test on Monday, that's not graded. And then at the end of the week on Friday, at the end of class, we take a post-test and we do kind of grade those.
So based on the pretest, they know which words they know how to spell
Yeah.
and they know which words they need to study.
So I grade those Monday night and then give it back to them Tuesday morning. And they write those words down and have them, and they practice. During class, they're also practicing those words. And sometimes, because class doesn't always run the most smoothly, so we have, like, if we didn't get to something, then they have a packet, and normally it doesn't take them longer than 5 to 10 minutes to do it. So I tell them, just do it on the bus, you know, do it in the morning. So for me, my class homework is very dependent on the day and what we were able to get through in class, but normally they really don't have that much homework. It should be max 10 to 15 minutes.
And Miss Matthews is the same way. She goes through the spelling test and their homework, if they have homework for her, is about their spelling words. And just sort of sorting them into what spelling pattern it follows to reinstill that, okay, well, this follows the AU spelling pattern. This follows the consonant, vowel, consonant spelling pattern. And just being able to identify the patterns.
And for the vocabulary that's sent home and everything, I'm guessing they're supposed to know the definitions by the end of that week as well, right?
So the vocab,
They're not tested on, say if there are 10 words to know the definitions. It's basically, the vocabulary is an introduction to more words for them to work on building their vocabulary. So they're not,
And
they don't
words-
have a quiz where there's
Okay.
10 words and 10 definitions, but we want them to just build their vocabulary in general, be able to use the sentence when they're speaking, use the word when they're speaking or
Right.
writing.
and they're often words that will be used in the class. So in the mentor text that we are reading, some of those vocabulary words are gonna pop up.
Yeah.
Or in the next book that they're reading, some of those vocabulary words are gonna pop up. So it's just like an introduction to familiarize themselves. No, well, thank you so much for coming.
If you
We
think of
appreciate your
questions
time.
later, feel free to email us.
So kind of off topic, but are our fifth graders getting a fifth grade trip or anything to look forward to?
Yes, so at the end of the year, we will have a fifth grade t-shirt. It's going to, Miss DeCatch normally makes the design, and then, all of their names on the back. So it's typically $20 to $25. I think it was $25 last year.
And they'll wear it at graduation, at the fifth grade graduation that we do at Winder Barrow. They'll wear those shirts there.
And be on the lookout for a possible field trip. We go every year to the Atlanta Zoo, right after we do our animal and plant classification unit. A lot of our students have never been to the zoo. So this is a very formative experience for them. Last year we had a whole group that, this is the best day ever, because they've never been to a zoo before. So the only issue is we're looking at transportation. It is an extended day where the students will have to be picked up at 3. So we're working with transportation to see if we can get that sorted out. If your student is a bus rider, hopefully we will be able to make it back before the buses leave. If not, we'll keep you updated.